10 fun facts about the Spider-Man trilogy. Make sure you subscribe and stick around with us on other fun facts. With the current explosion of comic book and superhero films, it's important to look back at the ones that started it all. That's what we're doing with this list of Spider-Man movie trivia. These Spider-Man facts concern the Tobey Maguire Spidey, not the reboot versions. Because before Marvel Studios, Sony Pictures unleashed the Spider-Man movies and changed blockbuster cinema forever. Spider-Man illustrated just why fans love the character. He was the underdog, he was our underdog. Spider-Man helps us all understand what it's like to be a hero, and the movie helped us feel what it's like to be Spider-Man. Back in 2002 there was nothing quite like that rush of swinging around like Spider-Man. Then Spider-Man 2 came out in 2004 and blew our minds all over again. It broke many of its predecessors' box office records and was even more revered by fans and critics. To this day it's still regarded as one of the best superhero movies all time. Spider-Man 3, well that's another story, but we have plenty of info in the list about all of that as well. So take a look back at one of the greatest superheroes of all time in one of the franchises that started it all. These are 33 fun facts about Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. Vote up your favorite bits of web-slinging trivia. The Thanksgiving scene is color-coded. During the Thanksgiving dinner scene, both Peter Parker and Norman Osborn wore their enemies' costume colors. Peter in green and Norman in red and blue. Harry Osborn, showing his neutrality to that point, being friends with Peter and his father's loyal son, wore both sets of colors, a green shirt, blue coat, and red tie. Stan Lee was making cameos even back then. In the first film, Spider-Man's co-creator Stan Lee saves a woman from falling debris. In the second film he saves someone yet again. Finally, in the third film, Pictured, Stan Lee makes an appearance as the man who tells Peter how great Spider-Man is. They had to audition spiders for the first film. They literally held spider auditions. Director Sam Raimi wanted the perfect spider for the moment where Peter Parker receives the initial bite, but the spider that most resembled Raimi's vision was a Black Widow. It would obviously be too dangerous to use a real Black Widow, so entomologist Stephen Kutcher brought in spiders to audition for Raimi. Eventually, they found a spider that looked just right to play the part. There was just one problem: the color. The solution: makeup. Raimi explained that he wanted the scene to look as realistic as possible, and CGI just wasn't up to snuff then. So they went Rocky Horror on the spider instead, painting it with red and blue accents. Peter Parker's landlord's name is no accident. Remember Peter Parker's grumpy landlord who's always chasing him friend? The one with the strangely cute daughter, Ursula, with whom Peter makes fast friends? Mr. Ditkovich was a character created solely for the movie series, and his name is a not too subtle reference to Spider-Man co-creator Steve Ditko. Alfred Molina grew very attached to his tentacles. Alfred Molina, Dr. Octopus, actually gave names to his four mechanical tentacles: Larry, Harry, Flo, and Mo. Flo was the top right tentacle, because it was operated by a female grip, and that particular tentacle was the most motherly. It removed his sunglasses and even gave him sips of his drink. When Peter catches everything on the lunch tray, that's all Tobey Maguire. The scene where Peter Parker catches Mary Jane's lunch on the tray involved no CGI. With the help of an adhesive to keep the tray stuck to his hand, Tobey Maguire eventually, after many takes, performed the stunt as seen on screen. We almost saw our first Marvel crossover way back in 2002. Hugh Jackman revealed that he was supposed to have a brief cameo as Wolverine in the first Spider-Man. Jackman actually went all the way to New York to film the scene, but the plan was scrapped when the crew couldn't gain access to Wolverine's costume. How cool would that have been? 4 Spider-Man costumes were stolen from the set. During production on the first film, several Spider-Man costumes were created at a cost of up to $100,000 each. 4 were stolen from the set in early April 2001, and Columbia Pictures posted a $25,000 reward for their return. The costumes were not returned. Spider-Man 4 was set to kick off a solo Venom film. The Venom film has been discussed for over a decade now. It even reappeared recently, and was meant to happen after Amazing Spider-Man 2, before being shut down again. But according to rumors, Spider-Man 4 was to feature yet another villain, Carnage, who would then spin off into the Venom solo film. If the rumors are true, Spider-Man 4 would have been swimming in villains. Did we learn nothing from Batman and Robin? The moment Peter dumps his suit in Spider-Man 2 ties into the comics. When Peter dumps his Spider-Man suit into the garbage can, it's an specific homage to a panel from Spider-Man No More, the story in The Amazing Spider-Man number 50. Want to know more facts? Subscribe today and we will have more fun facts on your upcoming favorite films and other crazy things you didn't know about. Thank you again, see you next time.